friends, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to our life, Baxter DLC. We are now here finding the ice cream truck. As you join the group, you could feel the anticipation of a kid on their birthday, except it was somehow everybody's birthday at the same time. Up close, you could see the images were faded. They weren't as vibrant as they should have been, and chips of paint were flaking off. If anything, the wear and tear increased the charm. It was real, and it was just what you'd imagined. You were finally experiencing a quintessential summer ritual. Oh my god. Is there like a faint photo of a chocolate taco around here? Probably not, right? See the popsicles. Ice cream sandwich. I always got the SpongeBob, but even then I heard the eyeballs for SpongeBob were not bubblegum anymore. The order window lifted and the driver gave a hearty greeting. Good evening. Good evening to you. Hi. Hey. You waved at the friendly driver from behind the others.
Sorry.
Thanks for stopping for us. Sorry for chasing you. No, thank you for stopping by. Can I get you something?
Absolutely.
Alright. Hey! It's the American popsicle stick. The OG. SpongeBob has to be on here somewhere, right? Or Bubbles. He beamed with victory, a cat who got his cream. What? What a weird saying. Then he gave his first check over the options and shrugged. However, we do require a moment. Of course, no problem. Take your time. That started the great ice cream discussion. Ice cream was serious business and took consideration. Miranda was firmly in the camp of actual ice cream options, making the valid point that you'd come for ice cream. Terry wasn't convinced. Neither was Cove. Getting ice cream obviously didn't mean you actually had to get ice cream. Anything from the truck counted. The debate ended with no agreed on winner. Everyone just got what they wanted. Hi, can I like a coconut popsicle? Sure, let me get that for you. She reached over into a freezer and pulled out the first of the treats. She handed off to Cove and he passed her some cash. I'll have one of those snow cones. And can I have a chocolate dipped ice cream cone, please? The D4? They both received their treats, paid, and stepped away to clear the way. You decided to order... Ooh. Oh my god, ice cream taco. Tyler would love that. I'm ordering a cartoon face popsicle. Baxter, meanwhile, had yet to finish staring at the menu. With intense scrutiny, his eyes went over the rows of advertised frosty desserts long after everyone else had already had theirs. It was getting awkward, especially for the lady in the truck who would be stuck there until he finally got around to ordering something. Terry tried to break the ice, or ice cream, and cracked a joke. Get the ice cream sundae cup. The ice cream is totally white, and the chocolate sauce looks almost black. She found that to be a side splitter, but it didn't even make a dent in Baxter's reverie. The world around him was lost to the palace of his mind. Baxter? Hey, yo, Baxter? Ice cream? Anything? Still no reaction. A new strategy was needed. Terry stuck a hand right in front of his face, cutting him off the pictures and taking all of his attention. He blinked and the spell of those tantalizing treats were broken.
I'm sorry.
Is something the matter? That's what we wanted to ask you. You've been quiet for a while. Ah, yes, I have been. Baxter put a hand on his chin and popped his hip out to one side. The focus that had been so centered on the truck was now set upon the rest of you. With that pose and his already eccentric style, Baxter looked like a side character in a cartoony, mysterious mystery game. One who was definitely not the criminal, but still needed to be cross-examined for important details. My problem is this. I'm unsure if I should get a dessert that's to my usual taste. If I do, I'd be starting to enjoy what comes from the ice cream truck. That would be nice. But on the other hand, this may happen only once. Perhaps it'd be more rewarding to get something new, an option that would be challenging to find in a common store. Which will add more to this experience. Indulgence or novelty? I want to make the right choice. You should treat yourself to something you actually like. Why not get something wild? You could get more than one treat. Get whatever you want and then you could try what I got too. I think worrying about what's absolutely perfect will really waste a moment. Do you want to try my cartoon popsicle? Because I'm a fucking child and got that? As long as we don't get the same things, you'll be able to sample 2 different treats.
It's settled.
Oh, well, I can't reject such generosity. In that case, my decision is made.
Fun!
Yay! Success. Indeed, but now you're going to have to bear with me. He said so... They're like, what? He said so teasingly it was all self-directed. I promise it is not what you think. I'm being entirely honest. I'm going to get my preferred treat of this type to eat. Okay. Why would we have a problem with that? That is because my favorite is an ice cream sandwich. Ah, that is, you know what, makes sense. Cove's hair and Miranda exploded into laughter. That's what I should have suggested, not that Sunday.
So great.
It's the perfect black and white selection for Baxter. You swallow your own laughter, you laugh freely along with others. Come on, give him a break. That's a good one, Baxter. You know what? Laugh. Baxter ran his hand across his bangs, his smile sweeping into a grin at the same time. It was obvious he knew exactly what he was doing, far from being bothered by your laughter. It seemed like that was what he was aiming for all along.
You know.
I cannot deny that I originally tried them because of the colors. It had been picked out for me because they assumed I'd appreciate having a black and white dessert, which I did. But they are the tastiest type of simple ice cream treat to me. It's simply a coincidence, or perhaps it was meant to be. If you insist, monsieur, I believe you. Go get your sandwich. Baxter approached the truck determinedly and leaned against the counter. He spoke briefly to the patient ice cream lady, then money was exchanged. In return, he got his prize. The coveted ice cream truck treat was finally in his hand. After one more thanks to your crowd, the ice cream sales lady shut the side window. Then the truck slowly began to move. Your friends shouted and waved and gave grand farewells, wishing her well in her journey, bringing treats to young and old. She beeped the horn a couple times in a cheer of her own. The truck eventually disappeared beneath the skyline, and you, along with the others, ambled across and up the road towards Baxter's car with treats in hand. Miranda and Terry giggled about something you couldn't quite catch, but it became apparently the minute they exchanged cones and took a lick each. Actually, using the word lick might have been generous. Terry! A peek at Miranda's having ice cream and the vanilla and chocolate smeared all over Terry's mouth said all that needed to be said about the situation. Terry pitched forward, clutching her head to the cone, nearly hurtling to the ground as she pressed into her temples with both hands. Karmic justice. Brain freeze, huh? It was hard to keep a smile from showing on your face. Yeah, looks like it. She might have deserved it. You snickered to yourself, trying not to laugh too loudly. Then Cove pinched the edge of his popsicle stick, waving it like an accusatory finger in Terry's direction before taking a bite off the top. The regret was immediate on his face the minute he crunched down on it. He stiffened into a Covesicle. You couldn't say he didn't deserve it. Luckily, both Cove and Terry made full recoveries after a minute. I want to try stuff too. People try mine if they want. You offered yours to Cove, though you didn't want to try anything yourself. Why are we giving it to Cove? You offered yours to Cove and asked if you could try it too. You didn't feel like sharing with anyone. You enjoyed your frozen treat quietly. I thought we were going to show up Baxter. I'm going to enjoy my treat quietly. Realize how few times you'd actually had a dessert like that all summer. It used to be something you actively strove for as a kid. Now, if Baxter hadn't suggested it, it may not have even happened. You're grateful you had the chance and intended to savor as much as possible. The others continued chatting as you clocked that there was a notably absent figure from the party. It was your fifth and newest addition to the group, who also happened to be the one who drove you guys here and made the plan in the first place, Baxter. Your eyes followed the retreating backs of Miranda and Terry, then to Cove, who already started to outpace you the minute you relaxed. You attempted to see if Baxter had gone even further ahead. There was no signs of that monochromatic color scheme, and you gotten so good at spotting. A low chuckle from behind you gave away the ghost. His tone was chill as always, but it was even more fitting considering the theme of the moment, frozen delights.
Oh?
I wonder what it is that you're searching for, Michiko. Now that you noticed them again, you didn't know how you couldn't have earlier. He'd been as quiet as you were the entire time, but usually he commanded attention even when standing there. But he didn't. Instead, he hung out at the very end of the crowd, inspecting his dessert with the gravity of a man who had been face to face with the source of a deep-rooted fear only hours ago. He slowed to his stop altogether and waved on the others when they checked on you. Baxter's walk turned into a brief jog, aware that you were waiting and not wanting to keep you. It wasn't long before he came up from behind. You fell into step beside him, the two of you silent as he passed a wondering glance in your direction. You can still try mine if you want. It's okay if you don't, too. Okay, good. Good thing I didn't share with them, the other friends. No, I do. Wonder turned to relief once you made it clear you hadn't forgotten the promise. Thank God, I thought we did. I thought for a moment we just lied. I merely intended to wait my turn. How polite. Oh, he's so fucking cute. Baxter held an open palm out, waiting for the proffered treat to be handed over. But when you moved it closer, he didn't pick up the dessert. Instead, Baxter held... Oh my God. Baxter held your wrist, keeping the cartoon face popsicle steady, and leaned in to try it from you directly. His fingers were long and delicate, and they were cold.
Thank you.
This man knows what he's doing. He noticed your reaction and grinned deviously. As he retreated to a respectable distance again. Even though he'd let go, it still felt tingly where his touch had been. Would you care to try mine? It is delicious. Yes, please, thanks. Well, I mean, if you're offering. Okay, nothing good. Yes, please. It was messy to snag a bite when the cookie part of the sandwich crumbled to dust after your teeth made contact. The ice cream nearly dropped as you fought to get both in your mouth. Baxter broke out in easy laughter. He revealed a stack of napkins from his pocket. He offered you a couple for your troubles and returned the rest. You took the napkin thankfully and wiped the sticky residue off of your face. Well, you thought you did. Baxter lightly tapped his right cheek, a hint at where your plans had gone astray. As soon as you pointed out, you could feel the crumbs linger there. You scrubbed them with embarrassment. He had no more tips then, all smiles. I wanted to thank you, by the way. For what? I was gonna thank you for letting me try yours. He chuckled as he took another napkin out of his pocket. He didn't pass it to you and instead fiddled with the edge of it, maybe to give him something to do other than stare at you or the ground.
I appreciate the understanding.
Okay. You likely didn't think much of it, but I appreciate you accompanying me now, and for including me in the event on the whole.
Hey, buddies.
Terry, why are you always in the way whenever there's like a loving moment about to happen? Terry waved for Snook on high as she called out to both of you. When did the others get to the car? You paced yourselves in hopes of not wanting to keep them waiting for long. Terry was always excitable. Baxter followed your lead. Terry pointed her partially melted snow cone towards Baxter as soon as he came close enough. I want to try yours too. Mine's a little slushy now, but that's half the appeal. He gave his ice cream sandwich to Terry, taking the paper cone in exchange. And for the reference, what is the other half? Turned your tongue blue.
Really?
Didn't you get a cherry? Yep. Ko shook his head but didn't have it in him to get involved with that conversation. What? Whatever, I don't get it. After they each got a chance to try the other's desserts, Baxter and Terry swapped again. Then Baxter leaned against his car hood while everyone else happily situated themselves around the area. Randy and Terry took seats on the sidewalk curb, apparently heatedly debating the possibility of blue cherry being a real flavor. Terry had a fair argument considering raspberries weren't blue, and yet blue raspberry did exist for some reason. Cove hovered nearby, couching himself on the summer-warmed asphalt. He stretched and strained, trying to lick a stream of melted coconut popsicle running down his arm. Cove, you're going to sprain your tongue? Well, that's something you never thought you'd say. Ignoring your well-intentioned warning, he pressed on, his face squished against his forearm, tongue angling to try anyway. I can do it. It's personal now. Oh, okay. Whatever. The limits of the human body were a pain, but it was still pretty funny to watch him try to fight against it. With the absence of the ice cream truck's music and the thrill that came with that, the street seemed entirely different. Houses quietly lined the street, and you now heard the rush of the wind. Branches swayed overhead in the breeze and leaves rustled. It didn't carry the comfort smell of sea salt.
So?
Here we are. Terry heartily licked the side of her snow cone. She leaned on her fist, the arm propped up on a raised knee. Her tongue was extremely blue now. Far away from where we belong and who knows where. Camped out in front of some random suburban person's house. Miranda tilted her head back to look up at the mailbox mounted to the concrete. Rocking to one side, she craned her head to get a read of what number was on the side of it. Thank you to the fine people of 231. Whatever the street is.
Thanks.
Didn't do anything for us. Thanks, ice cream lady. Thanks, ice cream truck lady. Right, and thanks for driving us all the way out here, Bax. Can I call you Bax? Before you could answer, Terry sucked in a bit of air and waved it off. It's not right. I'll work on it. Baxter chuckled, taking another bite of his sandwich. There's no need to thank me. It was exactly what I had wanted to do. What do you guys think of the ice cream truck? Honestly, I'm not sure this was all. What the fuck? It was totally worth it. It was nice to just enjoy the moment. Well, that was a suitable new feather in my camp for summer traditions.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. The sky grew pinker and yellower, and you knew the day was soon going to come to a close. Somehow it felt wrong. It had gone too fast to be over. Though summer never seemed long enough those days. As you were about to voice that thought, you heard the dim sound of something gurgling that immediately replaced the words that came out. Did you guys hear that? I did. Yeah, what was it? Neither of the boys replied to the question except for shakes of the head and shrugs in the negatives. There was no time for a follow-up question because the answer came in the form of a psh. Water bubbled, then shot up in a graceful arcs all around. Droplets splattered onto paved driveways and were coming towards the sidewalk next. Sprinklers! Randy made a break for it. Is that Miranda's name? Or is this a typo? I don't... Okay. Dashing to the street with the speed of an Olympian sprinter. Randy, wait up! I guess maybe that is her nickname. Miranda, so Randy, I guess. Terry leapt onto her feet. Her shoes hit the concrete and wet slaps while Baxter wordlessly searched for cover himself from the surprise spray, meandering away without any urgency. He responded with a remarkable poise about the whole thing, unbothered by the fact he'd gotten wet today after all. Baxter even had time to finish the last bit of his ice cream sandwich. He ducked behind the other side of the car. Randy, Terry, don't leave me here. You took it in stride yourself. You know what? It's the sprinklers. Sure, you'd gotten a little wet, but water was water, and you were hardly a stranger to it. You used to run through sprinklers as a kid. It would dry pretty quick. But Cove didn't even so much as flinch. He only stood to his full height with his back to the car, a popsicle stick prodding out of his mouth. He glanced over the others and grinned as he withdrew the stick clean.
Oh?
How about this water-based activity? Most of us are still in swimsuits.
Exciting.
Well, isn't that an interesting proposition? The challenge had been ensued, and Baxter threw down the gauntlet. Cove's eyes popped open with a shock, but he didn't allow the surprise to keep him from moving. Alright, I thought it was nearing the end, but I guess it's not. But anyway, this is where we're going to start for today's episode. I'm assuming we're nearing the end of this story mode though, but it's not bad, it's great. This is lovely. I'm so excited for Baxter in our lives. But thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I will see you guys in the next one.